Disney Dining Review time. Hello, everyone. It's Wade for the Kingdom Report back here with you once again for another installment of Walt Disney World in Pandemic. This, of course, is the series where we take a look at all things Walt Disney World through three very unique filters. Is it safe? Is it comfortable? And is it worth it? We've been doing this series the entire time to really help provide you the context you need, the information that you need, to decide whether or not doing a certain something in the most magical place on Earth is something you should do during this very unique time. So, part of a much larger playlist is the In Pandemic series. We do encourage you to check out all of our travel days, our resort stays, our park visits, and of course, the rest of the dining reviews that we bring to you through this series. It is a great pleasure to bring you this information and to be a part of your trip planning process. If you have any questions for us, we always encourage you to leave them down in our comments section, and we respond to everybody as fast as we can. Well, we are here at Epcot today to not only delight in the most beautiful time of the year at Walt Disney World, and that is Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. Oh, this really is a time where Epcot shines, and there's no greater place I like to be than Epcot during the spring months, especially when I get to eat, because Epcot is known for some of the best restaurants, especially because it has World Showcase, where all the nations sit sort of snugly around the lagoon, and you can go and dine in each individual nation and get to have some of their cultural delights. We are venturing back to the Italy Pavilion today to grab ourselves some lunch, and I have to tell you, not only is the rest of Epcot beautiful during the springtime, each individual pavilion also gets into the act. So during the Flower and Garden Festival, you can see these just stunning topiaries everywhere you go, all themed to the pavilions themselves and any sort of relatable movies, Lady and the Tramp being one of the themes here in this very well-appointed, very well-decorated, very well-themed Italy Pavilion. Absolutely one of my favorite architecturally to visit. Just a stunning visual when you walk up to the Italy Pavilion for the first time. But today, it is all about the Italian eats. In fact, we are going to be discovering authentic Italian cooking, including some hearty pastas, fresh salads, and pizzas perfected in wood-burning ovens right here at Via Napoli. That's right, Via Napoli at the back of the Italy Pavilion. You have to walk back to this giant facade in the rear of the pavilion itself, and this is the place where you can grab yourself perhaps some of the very best pizza in all of Walt Disney World. In fact, it has become so popular that over time, Via Napoli realizes that the demand for reservations, well, in many instances, they can't accommodate all the reservations. They can't accommodate everybody that wants to get in for a meal here. And so over the course of time, Via Napoli not only has added more seating, more wings to their restaurant to try and keep up with demand because they have been so popular, but in addition to that, they also opened up a sort of side window, if you will, for their pizza slices, individual pizza slices. So that's the front door of Via Napoli, just off to the left-hand side. You will have some storefronts. Those doors right over there, those open up at certain points throughout the day and allow you to buy pizza on the go. So you can grab your slices there. Very popular location when it's open, and they do that just to try and siphon off the demand for when people can't get into the restaurant. So very nice that they were able to set that up over the last few years. Via Napoli, a beautifully appointed restaurant to go right along with the Italy Pavilion. Here in the foyer area, this is where the podium exists for you to check in at. It can get very overwhelmed. It's not a large area just in front of the podium. But something I wanted to note is for most Disney World restaurants, you can check in via the My Disney Experience app that you made your reservation on. However, you can't do that here. That's mainly because it is a third party that runs this restaurant. It's a different company entirely, so you still need to walk up to the podium in order to check in. They will call you or send a text message when your table's available, and then they will seat you right away. Here you see one of the wide open main dining room concourses, big cavernous area. giant open sweeping views, and it butts all up to an open kitchen, so you can see everything being made right in front of you. It is a very nice, very beautiful, very light and airy experience. At the same time, as beautiful as it all is, it's very loud because of those cavernous, very tall ceilings, so something to keep in mind. Here in the main dining room and the open kitchen, you face three faces looking back at you. That's right, and these are giant pizza ovens that help to, sort of cook up all the pizzas that you are looking to enjoy. They're all named after Italian volcanoes, so you have Stromboli, Vesuvio, and Etna, which I think are, kind of a big centerpiece of the entire restaurant. You can see them from anywhere. I was seated within about 10 minutes of checking in for my reservation. My server made sure I was taken care of right away. Service was very prompt during this visit. She sat me right next to a window where I had a lovely view of the Italy Pavilion. You see there, that was what I was looking at, just beyond the family next to me, eating at their table outside. At any rate, they did have the touchless menu option. You scan that, it brings up a digital menu for you to select your items. And I started out with an appetizer that was oh so yummy. It was, in fact, the mozzarella caprese. And if I were Italian, I would pronounce it caprese. Apparently, caprese is how you would say this particular appetizer, this particular dish. But fiore di latte mozzarella, complete with fresh basil, and then vine-ripened tomatoes. This, my friends, was so refreshing, so light. It was the perfect way to start out the meal, mainly because I knew that the entree itself was probably going to be hot and heavy for me, and on a warm Orlando day, I wanted something that was light and refreshing. And so this hit all the right marks for me, not only with the caramelized sort of balsamic sauce that went with this, just being the perfect counterbalance to that mozzarella cheese, that fresh cheese that I got there. But I always like to harp on this in dining reviews when I have a restaurant that nails it, and that is when I get a plate that has food on it that feels like it was prepared just specifically for me, and the quality and care went into ingredients, and the quality and care went into the preparation. I'm impressed, because a place like Walt Disney World, restaurants, you have to realize, are preparing food for tens of thousands of people a day. They can't hit it every single time, even though they try. Especially the third-party restaurants that aren't even run by Disney, right? This hit all the right notes for me. I was impressed with the caprese, and I would suggest you get that as your appetizer moving forward. This wing, by the way, of the restaurant back here, lots of booth seating all the way back, and this stretch of booth seating really is, these are large booths that can accommodate large families, and just perfect for the Italian food atmosphere, I would think. So it was nice to see that wing sort of dedicated to booth seating. And now, it's time for the entree, pizza time, as a matter of fact. I want to make it known that when I asked my server specifically what sort of pizza she felt best represented the restaurant, she said, I think it's important to keep it simple. It's important to just keep it as simple as possible and let the flavor set in and let it be a pizza that stands alone and on its own. And she said, do you have any allergies? And I said, no, I just want to know what pizza you would suggest. And she said, okay, well, I would say the carciofi pizza. So I ordered up an individual carciofi pizza. This is a white pizza with artichokes, fontina, mozzarella, and truffle oil. Now, this is perhaps one of the best pizzas I've ever had. You take a look at the crust. These thin crust pizzas are made with fresh mozzarella cheese, San Marzano tomatoes, and real Caputo flour imported from southern Italy. The water for the dough is even sourced from a spring similar to Italy's Campina region, and pizzas are then cooked in those wood-burning ovens that I mentioned with those 3 active volcano faces, that look out onto the dining room. This restaurant nails the perfection of pizza, and I'm so happy that my server decided to present this to me. This pizza ended up being not only packed full of flavor with the cheeses alone, the artichokes really, I think, were a great counterbalance to the cheese and truffle oil. It was a perfect, and I won't say bitter is probably the wrong word, but a perfect mild pizza that reminded me of just how ideal ooey gooey cheese on some of the best bread you can find and create really is. Highly suggest you go with the Carciofi pizza. You see there, total price $43.94 after tax and before tip. That is perhaps a little steep for some. I will say that the restaurant itself didn't get much cheaper when it came to individual pies in general. You know, I didn't really even have that many toppings, so that was something that also could tick up the price tag for you. So certainly something to consider. The $25 for individual pies really is kind of the set standard pricing for all the pizzas in the place. You can certainly get pasta and other things, salads of that nature, you know, your alcohol, your wine, a lot of things to add on. I kept it very basic though. I just had my pizza and I had my caprese, you know, my caprese appetizer there. That was about it. And you saw the price tag. So all things to consider before you decide to eat here at Via Napoli. Now, is it safe and is it comfortable? We always like to frame things up for you for the sake of context. The small entryway, the foyer area, can get very crowded. I saw that happen multiple times, especially since where I was sat, I was facing the foyer, so I saw that happen where crowds really backed up the whole area. They did their best to try and keep it open, but there's only so much room. So something that I would encourage you to do is step outside of the front door if you are waiting for your reservation to be called, if tight spaces and big crowds make you uncomfortable. Digital menus and frequent cleaning is something I saw being utilized in here. Digital menus with the QR code, of course. Multiple wings for distancing and seating is definitely something that they accommodate here, and they do a great job of. When it comes to the comfort level, high traffic dining rooms. So lots of activity in these dining rooms. You feel like sometimes, you know, especially if you're near a doorway like I was, it was just nonstop back and forth, people everywhere. So it can be a little distracting. Loud acoustics in this place, big cavernous areas, like I said. So it's very loud, very hard to have a private conversation in this environment because it is so loud, but a beautifully themed restaurant, one that makes you feel like you are sort of back home in Italy. I mean, it really does hit that theming right on. So I appreciate that. And it does make you feel like, again, you're sort of in this open kitchen area at home amongst friends or something like that, even though you're with all these hundreds of other park guests that you don't know. Now, of course, the final question that we always get asked is it worth it? I will tell you that Via Napoli here at Epcot in the Italy Pavilion is a place that does, in fact, have the best pizza in Walt Disney World. That very simple pizza that I had hit all of the right flavor notes and was so satisfying. It was a lot of pizza. I almost couldn't finish it, which is a very hard thing for me to say, but I almost couldn't finish the individual serving. It was spectacular. The location can be a challenge to get to. It is in the back of the Italy Pavilion, and the Italy Pavilion is already in the back of World Showcase from the front of the park, so it does take a while to get to this spot, and certainly is a place you need to sort of hang around in sort of this section of World Showcase. If you do have a reservation, very seldom do they have openings for walk-ins. I did see a couple of walk-ins get taken during the time that I was visiting. However, that shouldn't be something that you rely on. And then pricing wasn't outrageous, but it was rather high for what you get. So you do pay for quality, so I'd like to balance that out. But at the same time, I got, you know, very few things, and it ended up being rather expensive for just one person. So this might be a special occasion restaurant in that regard. It might be a place where, you know, you save up a little bit in order to go, but definitely it is going to cost you to dine in this location. Well, my friends, I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed dining with me here at Via Napoli. Let me know, have you ever gotten pizza here, and do you think it's some of the best pizza on Disney World property? I'd love to know. Leave it in the comments section below. Also, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an update from our In Pandemic series and from the rest of the channel. We have so much going on, we don't want you to miss it. So hit that thumbs up button, make sure the notifications are on, and for all things Walt Disney World, we will see you in the very near future. We also cover Disneyland, so you don't want to miss that either. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Wade Heath. We'll see you next time for another installment of Walt Disney World in Pandemic.